this really quickly on my iPad. My iPad says it's at 10%. This thing was completely charged this morning. I have no idea what is happening and why it says that I am no longer live. But anyway, here we are. Here we are. As you come on, it would be of a great help for me if you would say hello. I have no idea where I'm to read comments though, because I am on more than one location. Okay, that's real helpful. You guys are really seeing my mess today. So, as I told you the other day, I am going to go ahead and start with our margarita set today because I have multiple orders. Cinco de Mayo is coming up, I guess, shortly. I mean, I know it's coming up, but it just seems like it's coming up super quickly, coming in hot. Okay, I use Deco Art paints for these. This one is Desert Turquoise, and this is going to be a little frame that goes around this piece. And hey, Desiree. Hi, Kim. Hello, Debbie. Hi, Donna. All right, so what I'm going to start with is I like to just use the little paint sponges. If you guys or makeup sponges, if you guys have watched me before, you've seen me use these. If you're new and you haven't dove into painting tier tray items yet, several reasons why we use these, but number one is it's just a clean, easy way to paint. You don't get the goop, but see, now I just got a paint booger on this one. So as soon as I'm going live and telling you guys this, then I get a giant paint booger. That's just unavoidable. Happens to all of us. But anyway, you generally don't get paint down on the edges of your pieces when you are using your little sponge. So I put quite a bit there, but then I dab off and it keeps it nice and neat. This particular color, the Desert Turquoise, it does need 2 coats, but see, I kind of put it on light and then go a second time. And I know I dab really fast because I've been doing this forever. And also I don't want to keep you here all day. I'm just showing you a few techniques with this particular piece. I'm doing 2 at a time because they're orders for customers, but I'll be popping on in this during the week to show you even more. Oh my goodness, I am going to be losing my my iPad where I watch comments and stuff. So I apologize in advance. I know that it's going to go in just a second, and I already see some people. Hey, Sharon. Hi, Angela. Hello, Tanya. I know that I'm going to have questions. I'll come back and answer. You can find me if you're not in my private group. You can find me at on Facebook, our private group. It's just VIP Gina. So if you go to groups and go to VIP Gina, you'll find me. Also, Little August Ranch on Facebook. If you're looking at shops, pages, that sort of thing, that's where I can be found easily. There's a link to our shop, so you can find a lot of the items that I have. Like this one for sure, our Taco Margarita set. So I am going to just base coat these little guys with white. They will have a little bit of detail to them. But one of the things, if you guys haven't painted the tier tray items, I use wood. A lot of folks use the MDF, which to me is like a hot dog. It's just, not to say that's bad quality, good quality, or whatever, but it's like all the little pieces thrown in there makes your end product. And for me, it cuts beautifully, so that's why people love it. But for me, I don't like to paint on it because it doesn't take the paint as well as real wood. So this that I'm using is Baltic birch. We also use oak and we use maple. Our bigger pieces, there is a lot of oak and maple in those, and they paint beautifully, they take stain beautifully, all that kind of thing. All right, these guys are prepped for ombre, and I wanted to show you the ombre effect. That's basically why we've come on today. So when I do the ombre, and I'll talk to you really quick about in my group, in the VIP group, I do have a link to the sponges. They have been out of stock. Oh my gosh, see, I've got like 25 people on live. You guys are all over the place since I'm all over the place. Um, but I can't see comments out because the iPad died. At any rate, the sponges that I like the best have been out of stock for like ever, and they've just come back in, and so I ordered them. But I'm gonna put the link back up in the VIP group so you guys have it. And if not, I've heard that the ones at what do you call it? At the Dollar Tree are decent. And for us, the Dollar Tree or Dollar Store, whatever you have locally, we never had a very good selection. I mean, here it's not that great. So, you know, they don't have them. Okay, Citron Green. And in the VIP group, we just moved over to our new VIP group during the very busy holidays season, fall, winter holidays. And so I'm having to redo a lot. And my aim is to go in there and give you all of the supply lists for the different sets as you buy them and whatnot, that you have those. Okay, so just a little bit of green there. And then I want to use our, where is it? Not evergreen. We don't want evergreen. I have like all of the Deco Art paint. So it's like I'm looking for, there it is. I have two forest greens. Okay. We want to use the forest green. And right now I'm getting some paint on the items that have to dry a minute before I glue them down, because I do want to show gluing it down. I like to use, I have people ask me all the time what paint markers I use. Like, I know that people use them, and I know that white goes in here, not green, but I use the green because I think it's prettier. So, you know what? It doesn't have to look realistic because this isn't a fine painting. It's a fun painting. But I use these teeny, teeny, tiny little paintbrushes because I can. I like to. And I find that the paint markers are more difficult to use than a paintbrush. But everybody has their own way of doing it, and that is just fine. So I'm just going to follow the little lines here, which are just fabulous. There's little score lines here. Our pieces do come with little score lines, so for the items that do require painting, well, not that they do, because you could just paint this whole thing lime green and leave it. I see people do that all the time. But if you are going to paint it, there's nice little lines. You can follow them and paint right in the lines. So the lines are going to dry. And see, you guys, I just completed this, and I'm going to go ahead and paint on it. This piece here, I'm going to go ahead and use the sandpaper. I want it to look a little bit flatter, and so I'm just going to follow it one direction only. And I can see the grains of the wood underneath, so that's what I'm going to go with, the direction of the wood. All right, the only paint color I didn't grab is there's a lot I didn't grab today. This is ink, and I am just going to use this. It's the same paintbrush. I'm going to use this for the little detail. Oops, there's some water on there. Detail right here on my salt shaker. So Cinco de Mayo is coming up, obviously May 5th. We have 3 different sets for Cinco de Mayo that would be real cute. We have this one, which is a tiered tray, but you don't have to use it on a tray. You can put it on a wreath. You could just, put it on a kitchen counter or decorate any way you want to with it, really. In a basket. I have a cute little metal basket thing that I've used. It's super cute, actually. We're going to put margarita in this, so we're just going to kind of put a little bit of shading on here. But yeah, we've used the tier tray things in all kinds of different ways. But if you're having a Cinco de Mayo party, this set is really fun. And then we have an actual Cinco de Mayo. This is Taco Margarita or Margarita Taco. I forget what it's called. You can type either of those into our Etsy store, Little August Ranch, or at Little August Ranch, or on Little August Ranch, the website. They're both places. But we also have the ladder, which is super cute ladder that leans against a wall or something. And the tiles are like this size. There's 3 tiles in it, plus there's an extra little tile to the side. And we have a full Taco Margarita set up for that. We also, like I said, the Cinco de Mayo, we have a Cinco de Mayo set that is tiered tray, but small decor, shelf decor, whatever, however you want to say that. I am now going to scooch over to, I think there's a margarita. Isn't there margarita paint? There is. I thought so. Okay, this is margarita. So I think margarita is the perfect color to use in a margarita glass. So we are getting ready to do a lot of things, you guys. We are launching our monthly subscription box here, hopefully in the next few days. We hit a little bit of a snag with a few things because of prices. You know how it is right now with gas. Everybody here knows that gas has gone a little bit crazy. And so we're just kind of hanging out and waiting to see if prices on our wood and whatnot. Hopefully we'll secure a bunch again, but everything might get a little bit insane. All right, that's all drying. Now we're going to move over to our ombre. And for that, I already grabbed some sponges. I am going to start with my cadmium orange. This cadmium, it comes in like green, yellow. Everybody has cadmium something. So it's a really great orange. Some of the oranges tend to be a little bit more opaque, which means that you have to do several layers. Gosh, I think it's the jack-o'-lantern. In the bottle, it looks really cool, but it's kind of crazy. So I'm just going to go on the bottom part of margarita, get a nice coat, and on the top part of bar. Okay. And I'm just going to kind of give it a couple coats there. See, it soaks into the wood so quickly that you just can kind of dab a little bit. I'm going to do both of these at the same time. At Christmas time, I was literally like doing a dozen sets of our gingerbread set all at the same time because those things were selling faster than I could keep up. Right now, it's our He Is Risen tiered tray pieces. A lot of staining involved in that. I don't even have a set right here in front of me. But yeah, a lot of staining involved in that, and white and green paint. It's really, really pretty, but I have created a ton of those. All right, so that's how I start. I start with, and again, I start with the orange because orange tends to be a little bit opaque. And I just want to make sure that there's a good coverage. Now, I know that a lot of people don't do this, but I'm just putting just this bright pink color down at the bottom first because it might need more than one coat. And I want to make sure I have it on there well enough so people can see. So I usually, there's a little bit of separation in the middle, which we're going to take care of in a moment. This camera angle is a little bit different for me since I'm doing filming this on StreamYard and I'm in multiple places. I do have to get a designated camera or something so that we can get this fixed up. Now, some of the things I've done in the past, which are really cute, like I'll take a paintbrush and put a thin line of a different color in there. That's super fun. That's done with that. But this is, we're going to do real, total ombre. So I'm going to put a little bit more of the pink, and I'm going to put a little bit more of the orange. And I'm going to take the pink that I already have, and I'm going to load a little bit down on the bottom and a little bit up at the top of the orange. So I've got the two colors there. And then if I were to offload, you can see if I dab it, it starts to come together, and it just picked up a little splinter of wood. So goodbye. So it starts to, and you make sure you have it, it starts to dab together and meet in the middle. These two colors look really, really good together. See that? And so now I'm going to not do this because see my orange and my pink would be in different spots. So for bar, I'm just coming along and right in the middle. So it's just going to blend it perfectly. And when you're starting, I know a lot of folks will just paint, you know, like I just did, like half of it pink and half of it orange and in there, but it doesn't give it that nice blend. When you add the two colors to the sponge, like I just showed you, it has a very nice blending effect on the ombre. And I'm going to do the same thing here. Again, keeping the orange. And I did it this way because that's how it's going to appear on the sign. It'll be pink and then all of this orange and then pink again. So it kind of looks like a sunset effect, and it's a beautiful sunset effect. I do that often. Actually, there's a piece I'm going to be working on with the new California set that we're just about ready to pop out. And that will have the same kind of effect, but it will be an actual sunset. So here we go with Margarita again. So you can see these are going to turn out very, very similar every single time. Apologize for my mess here. It is a Monday, and we were hit hard with orders over the weekend. Got a lot going on this week, and so I just want to make sure that that I get everything done. So I didn't take time to stop and clean up. This paper is completely dry. I don't paint on on messy, you know, wet surfaces or anything like that. So see how that blended very, very nicely? I'll hold it up so you can see it. See, that's the ombre. And you can do it with just about any color. There are some colors that don't tend to blend out looking really good next to each other. I can't think of those off my top of my head, but if it's something that's going to make a icky brown or something in the middle, that's what I said. It's nice to do nice little stripe or something like that. Okay, now I'm going to take our little frame pieces. And this is a question that people get asked me all the time, is like, oh my gosh, if I put them like this and like this, you know, they don't match up right. How do I do this? So this is the way that it was kind of meant to be. If you've ever been to Mexico, you know they use a lot of wood down there, and it's more of a rustic kind of look. Everything is yeah, more rustic, put together, not really, how am I going to say that? I mean, it's really pretty. Everything is bright and cheery and colorful, but sometimes, a lot of times, things are just a little bit more on the rustic look. So see how I brought this one up to the top a little bit, where the little frame piece, the little stick, is reaching over the top a little bit. And then on the top piece, I started at the edge and went all the way over. So yeah, at the end, there will be a little bit of a lack, but that's the way that, oops, don't put it on the bottom. It'll stick to the paper. Duh. You want to make sure you get a good amount of glue without getting too much. It's a dance to get used to using the super glue, because you don't want the super glue on your fingers, obviously. That's bad. You don't want that. But you also don't want it to run over, because it will show up on your item. Especially this being for a customer, I want to be extra careful. But see how that lines up? It doesn't line up all the way to the edge, and that's the look. I mean, that's the look of pieces in Mexico. I could have easily made these all longer and stuff, but I want it to look exactly like the pieces do. I mean, I've always lived close to Mexico. Not always. We did live in Idaho for a number of years. Okay, when I glue these on, this is the lime and the salt shaker for the margarita. Gosh, I think I should have had my camera flipped, you guys. I'm sorry. Using StreamYard is brand new for me, and I really am not sure how this is looking because like I said, my iPad died. I was using it earlier to paint something to see the picture, and I totally ran it out of juice. I had no idea that was going to happen. The glue that I use is a super glue, and you do not want this on your hand. It's a really good idea if you get too much, or just you're going to get too much. I put my painter's tape, stick it down, and dab it just a tiny, tiny bit to get the excess off. And then you want to make sure that you push it down well. You don't ever want to take your glue to your piece because you will have blobs. The other thing that I do, oh, please tell me my tweezers are here. Again, I usually clean up quite a bit before I ever go live, but this being a very busy Monday and trying to get orders out before deadline of package pickup or takeout. We have to take everything to the post office. They don't come to us, even though online they say they do. They don't. All right, so smaller pieces, I use the tweezers. This is like you just saw me a second ago, glue it directly on and dab off. That's one way of doing it. The other way is I make just a little pool of the super glue, and I'll take my tweezers. This bee is a little bit big. I don't have to do that, but I just wanted to show you. You know, I'll take it off with the tweezers and over here so that I don't glue my fingers. If you do glue your finger, you want to twist it off and not pull it off. That way you'll leave some skin on your finger. And that's about the end of that glue. See, I'm just kind of showing you some different things as I go without really talking it out. I just hit that a little bit too hard and it's not dry enough to take pressure yet. It will be, but not at this time. Yeah. Usually, especially when I'm assembly lining this, I'll let each step dry. But I'm on live with you right now, so not doing that. All right, I'm going to show you the other way. This is a nice big piece, so I'm just going to color over it a little bit without getting close to the edge and sticking my finger. I mean, it's super glue, you guys. It's not very forgiving. It will stick to you. That's the other thing is once you stick it down, it's really hard to get it back up. Even right now, I'd have to pry it with a knife and I would definitely scratch off something. All right, so that's margarita number 1. If you're sticking around still and you just popped on, you can find me, Little August Ranch. I'm on Etsy, Little August Ranch. We have our own website, Little August Ranch. And on Facebook, our shop is Little August Ranch. Isn't that easy to remember? But if you want to connect with me in my private Facebook group, it's just VIP Gina, Gina. And in there, I post videos like this. We come on live. I normally answer questions, like lots of questions, but I can't see any questions at the moment because my iPad, who knew that it was at 10% before I started? It was 100 this morning. That happens. So for years and years, I owned a scrapbook store. But prior to that, I actually, I was a crafter back then. Now they call it a maker. And we did lots and lots of craft shows. That was in the 80s and 90s. So that goes back a few years. So I've been at this since the late 80s. Took a little break. I've been back for, what, a year and a half. But took a big, long break to pursue some other things and came back just in time for the whole home lasers and, you know, the Glowforge and all that kind of thing. If you have a Glowforge, I'd love to hear. We actually cut most of our items on a much larger machine. It's out in our garage. It's humongous. Um, we can do, I mean, we cut 18-inch rounds, and we can do two at the same time. Actually, we can do more than that. But width-wise, we can do a couple at the same time. Yeah, my husband is out there doing our cutting right now. I say we because we are we. Sometimes I say we and I just mean me. I don't know if you guys do that. It feels really, really weird not to be able to read your comments as I go, because I am in 3 different spots right now, and I saw that we had a whole bunch of people on. So again, you can just leave your questions and I will answer them. This set is available both at our littleaugustranch.com and Little August Ranch at Etsy. And I also have a Cinco de Mayo tier tray and one of the square ladder, which without the frame, this would fit in. I have that in the, maybe I have it in the store as well as the Etsy. I'm trying really, really, really hard to add all of my items to our littleaugustranch.com store. It's hard, you guys. Everything gets up on Etsy, and quite honestly, I just don't have the time to get it all in the Shopify store in our own website, which is crazy. We should do that. But we are hiring out as of now a lot of things. So there we go. Isn't that adorable? So that is Margarita Bar. There's a lot of taco pieces and whatnot, but I started with this today. Tomorrow, or whatever day I continue on. Really wanted to show you the ombre effect. What else? We have, I guess, with the tag, I do some sanding, some color of the beads, that sort of thing. So later this week, I will come back and show you some of the other pieces. I think it's just great that this one had a lot of technique that I could share with you, just as far as how I use the sponge. If you've been making tier tray items for a while, then that's not new to you. But if you're brand new and you've been a little bit afraid to jump in and actually play with it, it's just wood, it's just paint. If you mess up, it's super easy before you glue it all down. You wouldn't do that. It's super easy just to paint over it with another paint once it's completely dry, or sand it a little bit and then paint. Super, super easy to fix errors. I should do a whole live on how to fix errors, because there's 101 ways. You don't have to throw away your piece of wood unless you like. Well, even if you break a letter, you could still fix it in many, many cases. So anyway, that's it for today. I hope you guys learned something. And if you already know everything, maybe you can help somebody that doesn't know. All right. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.